Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. Oh, it's been a morning already. We are very excited to be here. It is the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, bringing you the best of pro wrestling. And this show be jam-packed, kids. It's going to be awesome on this Memorial Day weekend. Very happy to have you with us. And, of course, you may be listening to us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. If you don't have that app, well, you know what? Maybe that idiot unknown KDAWN cursor will give you an accidental reverse curse that doesn't work or something. I don't know. Just get the app, AUDACY. Listen to all of our stations in the Odyssey family, 220 of them. You'll find something you like, so go get that app right now. We are also live streaming on X, Facebook, YouTube, X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. And, you can come on in, say hi to us. We got a lot of guestage coming in today. But first, let's bring in one of my co-riders here. He's a fellow coach as well. Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum. What's up, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
I am excited. We've got a show, man. We're loaded.
That's it. That's why I'm here. Sunday mornings dedicated to Mark Hoke from 8 to 9.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, when I'm in town.
Yeah. Well, we got Coach Rosey here with us, but we have two great guests for you today. And I can't begin to tell you how excited I'm. First hour, we're going to have David Clair-Bennett on. He is one of those crazy guys out in Hollywood. He does podcasting, voice acting. I mean, whatever you can throw at him. Big pro wrestling guy as well. So we're going to talk to David in just a little bit. Hour number 2. Oh my God. Coach, I got to be careful not to get beat up on this one. A slip up could be costly because we have coming in dangerous Dan Spivey is going to be joining us.
Man, I saw him at WrestleCon in Vegas. He looks like he can still put somebody in a pretzel and twist them in 360 degrees. That man, no matter if he's 35 or 65, is an intimidating figure with some great stories.
Yeah, it was amazing, Coach. Just real quick before we get into the second time we have for news. When you look back on his career, just the thread of being there with WWE in the early and mid 80s, and then being in WCW, New Japan or All Japan Wrestling, he's been in the ring with so many of the all-time greats. It is ridiculous, Coach. I don't know if people realize that about him.
Well, a lot of times the people with the pencil didn't really give him the best gimmicks in the world, but he was there for some of the hottest moments in professional wrestling history. You know, imagine if he truly had some great storylines. He would have been in the forefront of our childhood, and he was in many respects, but in a lot of ways, he was a missed opportunity, but he's having a chance right now to share his greatness and be recognized for, his lineage in wrestling. He's been a fly on the wall in some big promotions and some big wrestling evenings.
Yes, he has. And, hit your Wikipedia if you're not sure, guys, but it's going to be a fascinating discussion. We'll have Dan Spivey on in the second hour. To hit some of the stuff happening this week, Coach, before we go to David, so many things happened, but Ludwig Kaiser got arrested. This turned out to be the biggest story of the week outside of the ring, that he apparently got into an altercation in his apartment building. He was being affectionate to his girlfriend, nothing out of line. And some guy made some stupid comment because he didn't like it. And Well, first the reports went to Kaiser beat the hell out of him. To he just kind of shoved each other a little bit, and that was it. But he did get arrested, and he had to go to court right to get out of the United States with this card in AAA coming up, where he has the big mask versus mask match. What do you think of that mess, Coach?
There's a lot of conflicting stories out there. There's also a story that the man made a disparaging comment toward his girlfriend about immigration enforcement. So that could set anybody off in these heated political times, but that doesn't excuse, his level of anger as a public figure. You really gotta be media trained and be ready for people that are going to come at you from all different angles with all different opinions. It's not a good look for him, but we'll see what happens. He's gonna fight it out. El Grande 1 against El Grande 2. It's a huge storyline for him and can really propel him.
Yeah, this card in AAA is going to be amazing next weekend. And boy, it's just been an incredible, starting last night, an incredible 8 or 9 day stretch here coming up in pro wrestling. We got news. Asuka's stepping aside. She apparently she'll be still on the WWE roster, but she just wants to take some time with family and pursue some of her other interests. So all the rumors of her truly retiring weren't true, but Asuka we're gonna miss her. I think. I mean, she's one of the most unique talents in the world.
Yeah, she definitely is, and she's reinvented herself a lot, from babyface to heel to spitting green mist or whatever color mist it's coming in from, and she's very good at turning. Where you think everything's going to go one way, and then boom, Asuka flips it. And I think we were talking last week or the week they had the Backlash. We thought that would be an under 12-minute match, and their match was over 18 minutes and kind of stole the show. It was a great female match, and she'll be missed. But I think this is just a temporary little break, kind of like a sabbatical, and she'll be back. There's too much money on the table.
Yeah, well, speaking of coming back, we had a few names pop up here that I think are fascinating. Baron Corbin, apparently WWE is talking to him. I think he was one of the biggest missed opportunities WWE's had in a while. But Big Cass's contract is going to be up at the end of the month. I should say Big Bill. He's still Big Bill for right now. And Enzo Amore was spotted working out at the Performance Center. Coach, we could be getting Baron Corbin back, and we could have Enzo and Big Cass back as well. Good ideas? You like it?
I would say good ideas, especially for Cass and Enzo. The tag team division in WWE is dead on arrival. DEAD, dead. They don't even defend the championships on premium live events anymore. So an infusion of that type of energy in the tag team division would be amazing. Baron Corbin, you can write him into any storyline, good, bad, the vignette type character, acting type character, general manager. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Now, does he want to be back? He might, but he is enjoying his life competing in some real martial art campaigns. And he has the independence of being on the indies. So we'll see what Baron really wants to do at this point in his career.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to pay Mr. Pestock a little bit of money there to come back. Yeah. But with WWE having shredded their tag team division, but then, of course, they did defend the titles in the main event, Saturday night's main event last night. This is fascinating to see what Enzo and Big Cass could do, with Enzo having some maturity and not acting like a jerk, and Big Cass shaking off his addiction issues. This, I think, would really excite fans, and it would just inject a whole new interest in tag teams, because if they do come back, they will win the championships. I don't think there's any question about it. And personally, I thought they should have won them before, but I guess just backstage stuff held them back.
Yeah. Now Big Bill just is a newlywed, and his wife is Lexi Nair from AEW, the commentator. So that might be something holding him back, because when you're with WWE, I know it's less dates at this point in 2026, but to be separated as a newlywed makes it kind of tough. So we'll have to check that out. But no, it would be great to have them back.
Yeah, and at AEW tonight, guess who's on the pre-show? Mick Foley has signed with AEW. He'll be on the pre-show for them tonight. Decided he doesn't want to associate with WWE anymore because of their quote-unquote relationship with Donald Trump. I think Mick may have gone too far on this, but I will say if that's his stance, that's his stance. But how intrigued are you by Mick Foley being involved in AEW? If Mick lost a lot of weight too, if he's able to go for a couple of matches, man, there are some serious possibilities out there.
I don't like it. I don't want to see him get back in the ring. Maybe that's just me being a nervous Nelly. But I'm starting to get turned off with all this hardcore stuff, with all the blood, with all the extreme moves, thumbtacks, and I don't know what they would ask him to do. But if that was the case, I definitely wouldn't want to see him involved with hardcore. I would like to see him in a GM role. I would like to see him in a leadership role, a manager type role. Physicality is, maybe take a bump or two. He took one against in the Sandman match in Vegas that astonished a lot of people. But Mick Foley's better now behind the mic. He can bring a multitude of his different personas and his different personalities into, the commentating game. Even though I'm upset I won't see Double J on the buy-in show. Mick took his spot for this one, but he brings a lot of eyes. When you're at a meet and greet, Mick Foley line is one of the longest, along with the Hardys. So people are into the nostalgia, kind of like why they want to bring Cass and Enzo back. So he's a great nostalgia act.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. And I know MJF has said he wants a piece of him. That would, I don't know. I don't know if you could pass that one up, Coach. I'm not sure, but that would be entertaining. As of course, Maxwell Jacob Friedman and the boys of AEW in a sold out event tonight with Double or Nothing, coming to you from the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. 14,000 tickets sold, Coach. There is not an empty seat in the house with a main event of MJF and Darby Allin. What do you think, man? This is going to be a hell of a night.
Yeah, it's going to be a good night of wrestling. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with MJF. I think he's going to go over. Those Turkish hair plugs are way too expensive or time consuming and painful to get replaced. I'm just going off of logic. And I think they're going to feed off of Darby just into sheer exhaustion. And he's had a great run. I hate to see him just be kind of like a bridge champion, but he had his moment in time, and MJF is ready to take that mantle back, and we'll see what happens with him in All In, because Will Ospreay is around the corner with this special training that he's been getting. He'll be ready, and I think you're going to get to see MJF against Will Ospreay in London, with Ospreay going over.
Yeah, this is going to be an entertaining night at Double or Nothing. So brace yourselves on that one. That's coming to you pre-show at 4 Pacific, and then the show starts at 5. So unfortunately, I'm going to be at work for a while, so I'm not going to get to see it till later. But this is going to be just a nuts house in New York. All right, we need to take a break, and when we come back, a very fascinating individual. I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with David Clair-Bennett joining us here on the show, as he's been out working with the cast of Obsession, that new big horror hit, and all sorts of great stuff. Stick around, everybody. A whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. We'll be right back.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub to shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price of participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring limited text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions. Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible? Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2. The testosterone booster? Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results. I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week. Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text BACK to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's BACK to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
To receive your complimentary bottle, you just pay shipping and handling. Ordering your complimentary bottle enrolls you in paid subscription unless you cancel before the end of the trial period.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a pregnancy risk assessment monitoring system survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message, sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, hi there, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show as we continue through this incredible Memorial Day weekend show. Coach Rosey with me, just hanging out in a big city back there.
My hometown is San Francisco. I changed up the timeline.
Yeah, fair enough. Coach, we cannot have alternative timelines being generated from our show, even though I wouldn't complain.
No, I just want to try to bring a different big city into perspective, so keep a lookout. It'll be a new big city every week.
All right. Hey, put Fargo, North Dakota in there for me one time, would you?
No, thanks.
Wow. Did you have a bad experience in Fargo or something?
No, I just want things that are aesthetically pleasing.
Wow. You got to go to Fargo sometime. You'll change your tune real quick. Well, let's get our guest on the show here. Say hi to a man who is just all over the place in California. And I am so thrilled to have this guy on the show. Big podcaster, actor, voice actor, writer. He does it all. David Clair-Bennett on the show. What's going on, David? Good to talk to you.
What's going on, Mark? Coach Rosey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on, guys? I'm here. I'm here on the Mark Hoke Show. This is awesome. Very exciting. Thanks for having me.
We're very happy to have you, sir. So how's everything going? That's actually a good question for you, because when we first started talking on social media, I mean, you were in a rough place.
Yeah.
And look at you now, man. I mean, a few years later, and you have bounced back hard. You know, take us through all that.
Absolutely. So first off, I mean, I've been very open about mental health and battling demons for years, and I'm so grateful. And gratitude is so important to me. Hence the show that we do, Real Appreciation. It's real. It's not a gimmick, right? It's a shoot. So everything is so important to me to like take care of my mental health. So every day, I wake up, I say things that I'm grateful for alongside my beautiful partner Maria, and it's really shaped and changed my perspective on mental health. And I have come, like you said, from a very dark place. And I think it's very important to address those things because, I mean, like you said, look at how far I've bounced back, right? It's super exciting and it's super cool and it's also real and it's very genuine. And if I can ever share my story and help others and inspire them, what I've gone through, what I've written, I make
David, we're losing you there just a little bit at the end.
Can you hear me?
Now I got you. Yeah, I don't know. Your mic was cutting out a little bit, so
sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, look, we're all very proud of you and happy that you're doing well. And pro wrestling's a world where there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. We're gonna have Dan Spivey on, who went through his own battles too. And it's being in the entertainment industry can be so brutal on your mind. And what tips would you be giving to guys that are, say, in the pro wrestling industry that are struggling with things like what you had to deal with?
Just as cliche as it sounds, is to never give up. Like, I come from the pro wrestling industry, obviously. I used to be a pro wrestler a very long time ago. Got a lot of concussions, got a lot of neck injuries, had to retire that very quickly. But what I will tell you, any wrestler listening to this, it's a very challenging and demanding industry. I mean, every single day we go out there and we throw our bodies out. DDP said it best: you can't fake gravity, right? I can't give up.
Dave, we're losing you again. Would you mind just signing off real quick and come back and let's get your connection squared up?
Sure.
Okay, let's give David a second here, and we'll get him back on the show. But Coach, that is talking about that is really tough. Being out there, and you're not just dealing with the mental side of it, but a physical side. I talked about that last week about the Bret Hart comments that, it's tough in every way on your mind and dealing with the stress and the physical pain at the same time.
Yeah, no, mental health is no joke. No matter what profession you're in, there's stress, but when you're in the public eye, it just takes on a whole new beast when it comes to the comments that people make about you, the judgments people make about you, and just the falsehoods that people share about you. If you don't have a positive mindset, it can be tough sledding at times.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So we'll get, and let's see, we're getting David back right now. So let's put him back on. All right, Dave, let's give it another shot here, shall we?
Hey, is this any better?
Much better. Much better. There we go. There we go.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, that's all right. So, I didn't know that you were a wrestler, huh?
Yeah, a long time ago. Very long ago.
It couldn't be that long ago. You're not that old.
It's probably 2012, 2013.
What got you into pro wrestling?
I loved pro wrestling ever since I was 5 years old. As an actor, pro wrestling was always the first thing and the catalyst that got me into it. I always remember Jake the Snake Roberts cut a promo a long time ago where he said, and this really applies to every actor and wrestler cutting promos or whatever, you really want to make your audience engage. You want them to listen. So sometimes he would talk super quiet. I'm not going to go that quiet because of the audio issues, but he would talk super quiet so that people would lean in and be like, hold on. What is he saying? Because it makes you want to engage. And that came from the world of pro wrestling, and it's applied to my world in acting. And I really think it's the great advice ever. And so wrestling has always been that wholesome square there for me. It's always been that place that I run to whenever I need my escape, whenever I need my release. And it's always been so cool to have this beautiful community outside of the 1% of bad people in the IWC. It's always great to see them come together and just be there as a family, because it truly is a family whenever you find the right people.
Oh, no doubt about that. Let me ask you about things that are happening in the arena of pro wrestling right now that kind of cross over with what you do. There are people right now that, and I see this all the time on social media, that just say there's something missing right now, especially in WWE. There's just, and they can't put a finger on it. And what do you think about those comments? Are they legit? And if you think so, what is missing from pro wrestling right now?
Authenticity, 100%. There's too much advertising. And honestly, it's just it's like commercials. Like whenever you see a commercial, nobody's going to lie here. You don't want to listen to it. You want to skip ads. That's why it's so big. And WWE is plastered with advertisement left and right, as you can see on the canvas, on the ring posts, everywhere. And I get it as a business owner, as a perspective. From that perspective, I totally get it. But as a fan, it's something that's really missing because it feels more like a product placement as opposed to a wrestling show.
Yeah, it's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
One other thing that I've seen people commenting about is that the writing has been a little shaky. Now, if someone asked me to write a TV show, I'd have no clue how to do it. Could I give a general idea, general concept? Yes. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it, that's incredibly hard work. But, we just saw Road Dogg leave WWE, and, people are like, oh, we've got a bunch of college kids in there writing pro wrestling. How do you feel about the writing right now? And give us an idea of what it's like to put together a show like that.
Yeah. So I've written a few TV shows. And it's very demanding. It's very challenging. And right now, WWE is leaning heavily into that AI usage. So relying on AI to write storylines and stuff. And I'm old school, so I'm not really a big fan of that. So I think what is missing in terms of with wrestling is writers who actually get the product. Because we're bringing in a lot of people who are Emmy Award winning writers and SNL writers, and that's great and all. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of professional wrestling, a wrestling fan wants to see wrestling. At the end of the day, they love their sports entertainment, yes, but they still want to feel like the writers know what the audience knows, right?
Yeah. Explain to everybody how you put a show together. You get dropped in that room right now. What do you have to do?
Wow, that's a good question. I've never written a wrestling show. I've only written sitcoms, but
just in general. But
so what I would say is really you would just kind of obviously you got to know your knowledge on the product, right? It's so important. If you don't know what you're talking about, the audience will know in a heartbeat that you don't know that. So it's important to get together with everybody and the talent and all the writers and just kind of brainstorm, hey, what are we looking at? But also something that people forget to think about is your long-term storytelling. It's great to I'll go back to the John Cena heel turn a few years ago. It was great, but it was just a viral moment. We need to think 6 months down the road. We need to think, how can we come back to this even a year and a half down the line? Those are the things that matter more than people think.
And Coach, do you have a question for David, by the way?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. First off, self-care is important. Here's a look behind the curtain. Coach Rosey actually colors. I don't know if you guys can pull that in, but this is my self-care. I mean, I color something new every single day to turn off the noise in my head. So, David, mental health is vital, especially for men. We're an overlooked, over-egoed population that sometimes thinks that we don't need a tune-up every once in a while. So I appreciate your advocacy, for mental health in general, but as a man, to put yourself out there and let it be known that, it's helpful. So thank you for that.
Well, let me start off by saying, Coach Rosey, I'm very proud of you, first and foremost. That is amazing. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I come from a fandom perspective purely, being at your younger age, if you can go back in a time machine, which event from the 80s or the 90s would you have loved to have been in the crowd for, cheering with your T-shirt or your sign? What are you yelling? Who are you supporting? Who would you be there for?
Wow. Maybe the Rock and Stone Cold, the first time they ever locked eyes on each other.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. I don't know, Coach.
Yeah.
I'd probably go back to WrestleMania 3. I mean, I saw it, but I wasn't at it. I think that would have been an unbelievable thing to go to. What's yours?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure I would have wanted to be at the Hogan turn at Bash at the Beach. I mean, I was 20 back then, 22, 23 in college, but I've never been that close to a nuclear explosion where the heat is that nuclear that it peels your face off. So I would have loved to have been there for that. But I mean, I saw it on TV. I mean, I can recite it word for word, but to feel the emotion, that's why I keep going to live events. I don't even need to know the storylines. I feed off of the crowd, good and bad. Even if it's an indie show, I don't even care who the wrestlers are at. Wrestling brings out the emotion in people that you can't find anywhere else because it's got every element of storytelling, every element of emotion, every element of love and hate. And like you said, it's a release. So to be there and feel that anger would have been fun for me.
David, how important is the acting perspective? I know that they do promo classes and such, but Cody Rhodes took acting classes, and I think a lot more wrestlers are doing it now. Where do you prioritize that part of being a pro wrestler as opposed to the in-ring part? Is it kind of 50-50, or do you think it's more important to be able to cut a promo and get people involved?
I think that really depends on what company. If it's WWE, absolutely with the promos. It's like 70 to 80% more acting. But if we're going to like AEW or Ring of Honor or New Japan, it's obviously a lot more in-ring work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been interesting to see these guys come promos. And what do you think of that rumor of Enzo Amore and possibly Big Cass following him into WWE? I mean, the place is going to explode if those two show up.
Yeah, well, I still quote the sloppy jalopy line from time to time, so I'm excited personally. I know maybe not everyone else is for the Enzo part, but obviously, like with Big Bill, Big Cass, whatever he's going to go by, I've always been super proud of him for his like demons and struggles behind the scenes. And that's public knowledge. I won't go any further into that, but he's like an inspirational story to me and to many of millions of other people. But to see them come back and rise, I think now is the perfect time than ever because, I mean, let's be real. WWE does not have the greatest tag team division right now. Great talent, but it really could use some improvements. And if this is the first step to doing that, then by all means, let's go for it. Enzo and Big Cass, let's do it.
My name is Enzo Amore. Oh God, I still know the spiel. It's burned in your brain. You can't get away from it. That's for sure. Now we got Double or Nothing coming up tonight. What are you looking forward to on that card? And is part of it getting to see Mick Foley on an AEW show?
Yeah, it's taken a lot longer than I think people would have expected it to. And I'm also, I doubt this is going to happen, but I would like to see that asshole, that prick, MJF, get his head shaved.
Oh, really? Why does everybody want MJF to get his head shaved? I mean, come on. It's a nice head of hair. But he did get hair transplants. I couldn't imagine. I mean, Tony Khan would have to, as Coach said earlier, dip into the old pocketbook to replace those hair plugs, man.
Yeah, we don't even know if the Strait of Hormuz is open yet for him to get those Turkish plugs. I don't know if he'd have to take a boat or whatnot to get them, but it could delay the process a little bit.
My God.
As much as I'd like to see that too, David, I'm just going off of logic because that's a nice head of hair.
Well, Darby Allin's also been extremely exhausted lately. I don't know. I think all the title defenses are catching up to him, so that might go against his chances of winning tonight.
I'm going to, and I get that part of the storyline, but for somebody that's an older school fan, and I'm going to ask Dan Spivey about this later too when he's on the show in the next hour, but I went and pulled up that old Ric Flair piece of schedule that got out on the internet where he's wrestling every night, twice on a day on the weekends. And when I hear somebody say, man, I'm tired because I wrestled twice in a week for 6 weeks straight. Sorry, guys. I can't buy into that. I can't.
But he's the old guy from Up yelling at the clouds. It's 2026. Things change. And that's the way wrestling is today. So either you evolve or you yell at the clouds like Mark Hoke.
Wow. See what I got to put up with, David?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we have to get a commercial break in. And when we come back, we're going to have more with David Clair-Bennett. We're going to talk to him about this movie Obsession. He's been working with a cast and doing all this great stuff. And that movie is a hit, by the way. So we'll ask him about that and more stuff that he's got going on. So we will be right back. Coach Rosey, David Clair-Bennett, I'm Mark Hoke. We will return in just a little bit.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
May is Wildfire Awareness Month, and every Nevadan has a role to play. Wildfire doesn't wait. It moves fast, driven by wind, heat, and dry conditions in the Nevada high desert. It only takes one spark to put lives, homes, and communities at risk in minutes. Become wildfire ready with 3 simple actions. First, make a plan. Know your evacuation routes. Pack a disaster supply bag. Sign up for local emergency alerts. Second, prepare your home. Clear dead vegetation. Clean your roof and gutters. Move anything flammable away from your home. Creating defensible space can save your property and your life. Third, know before you go. On red flag warning days, avoid activities that can spark a fire, like a backyard fire pit or target shooting. For more information, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on The Mark Hoke Show. I am the aforementioned one, this little innocent guy sitting back here behind the microphone, Mark Hoke. Coach Rosey with us, and special guest David Clair-Bennett from Real Appreciation. Does some unbelievable work over there. And you've got some pretty interesting interviews with pro wrestlers up on the site. You don't just do the movies.
Absolutely. I want to thank TNA Wrestling for that. They have really been such a great partner with us, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. We've gotten to interview, I think, 15 people so far from TNA Wrestling. But outside of TNA, I mean, one of my good friends, Deonna Purrazzo from Ring of Honor Women's Pure Champion right now. She's been on the show, and we've had so many more people coming on the show. And I just love wrestling. I genuinely do. So if I can bleed it out into the world of acting, I love to bring that in and show my appreciation to the art that got me into acting, which is wrestling.
There you go. Yeah, so a lot of great stuff to check out, including you were hanging with the cast of Obsession, this new horror thriller movie that has made a ton of money. I mean, it was a pretty low budget movie, but it has turned out to be a nice hit. What's that been like working with the cast of Obsession?
It's been amazing, Mark. It's been so cool. We recently just got to sit with Sarah Harper herself, which is played by the incredible Megan Lawless in Obsession. And just getting a chance to talk to her and work with some of the other talent has been so surreal, right? So cool. And to see the film that Curry Barker made on a budget of only $750,000 go on to blow everyone's expectations pure out of the water has been awesome and a great sight to see. And I'm very proud of the entire team because there's a lot of hardworking people, not just in front of the camera, but of course, even more importantly, behind.
Yeah, it sounds like a fascinating story. I'm gonna have to go. Just tell us a little bit about what the movie is.
Oh man, I won't spoil too much, but it is
Don't
so
spoil
great.
too much.
Yes, it is so good. I don't call this my favorite movie in the world for no reason. They're not paying me to say that. I swear to you, it's the greatest movie I've ever seen. This guy gets a wish, he gets a one-wish willow, and he makes a wish for this one girl named Nikki to love him more than anyone else. Breaks it. But that turns awry very, very quickly. Watch the film. It's in theaters now. Obsession. Go see it, and your mind will absolutely be blown.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. Coach, do you have any other questions for David?
No, but I can tell you as a teacher, a high school teacher, my students were talking about that movie, and for a while now, because I always ask them, hey, what's the cool new movies? And they always bring up Obsession. I'm kind of a lightweight when it comes to anything scary. I get a little jumpy, but I might have to give it a shot if you're saying it's the best movie you've ever seen. So I can appreciate that. I guess I'll ask one other one. How does Hollywood and wrestling continue to blend as we go into the 2030s and the 2040s? I mean, what is the future of professional wrestling when it comes to delivery? In your opinion, is it going to be, are we all going to have VR masks on? Are we going to have satellites popping out of our foreheads to get the most current content? In your opinion, after seeing how Hollywood and TV and media works, what's the future of it for pro wrestling?
I think you're going to see pro wrestling a lot more in the mainstream. I think you're going to see WWE on SNL a lot more. I think you're going to see it. I mean, we've already seen it with toys and sponsorship deals and like Slim Jim. We see it everywhere you go. You see something from WWE. But I am hopeful that we do eventually start seeing stuff from AEW, from TNA, and showing that there is more of a world outside of wrestling than WWE.
Well, one person, by the way, that invaded the outside world this week, and some guy in my studio, I don't know who it was, tried to reverse his curse and miserably failed. So that Danhausen curse might be legit. But David, this is one of those things where it's a collision of those two worlds, pro wrestling and the world of athletics and entertainment. That Danhausen's curse, the Knicks are now up 3-0 after he cursed the Cleveland Cavaliers. How huge do you think this is going to be for WWE and for Danhausen if the Knicks get this sweep and go to the finals, and God forbid they win the championship?
Well, my friends were joking around about Danhausen, and I stopped laughing because I'm like, this is nothing to joke around. Danhausen is very serious. When you're cursed by Danhausen, I mean, look at the Miz, look at Kit Wilson. I mean, they're done for. They're done. I mean, they're cursed. You can't break the curse. You don't mess with Danhausen. So, I mean, when you're around Danhausen, if he wants his blimps, he wants his billions of dollars, you give it to him.
It's still driving me crazy, but that whole thing. I mean, like I said, I did that little video and responded to it just for fun. But Danhausen all of a sudden is he's got a legit chance to go mainstream here. Yes. And it fascinates me that he just kind of walked in the door and all of a sudden he's the hottest thing in WWE.
Well deserved. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the face paint, and when you got looks and face paint, look at Finn Balor, look at the Demon, you can put it on toys, which is merchandise money. You can put it in video games, that's merch money. You can keep going, and that's what WWE loves so much. So he's perfect. He's always been perfect for WWE.
By the way, we got a couple comments in the chat box. I've got to hit these. Coach Keith Morrison, I can't say the one word in there because we're on the radio, but that's why the world is the blanks now, because of Coach Rosey's thinking. Wow. Coach Rosey.
I'm progressive. I'm progressive.
Taking the blast on that. And now I'm getting blasted by Javon Campbell, 8357. Horrible Hoke is taking Danhausen seriously now. I don't know. I might have to. I don't know if I have a choice. It's crazy. I'm shocked. Something funny happened on TV, David. I don't want to ask you about this because being an actor, when something silly happens on a show, it's sometimes hard to keep your composure. And LA Knight broke Jey Uso last week when he used the term, man, and I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this or not. He said, instead of saying, he said, Ufa Lafa, which was a play on Roman's little, Ulafala necklace that he has. But it turned out that there was a legit reason that Jey got broken. Do either of you two, without actually totally saying it, know what Ufa Lafa means in Samoan? Do either of you know?
No.
Coach, do you know?
Nope, but I got a vivid imagination.
The first word Ufa means F-U. The second word Lafa means ringworm. So when he said that, he said F-U ringworm.
I think that was in reference to Hannibal, that guy up in Canada that got it from Abdullah the Butcher. It was a inside job.
David, how do you handle that as an actor when somebody does something like that? Especially on live TV. I mean, wow.
Well, where I come from, we get multiple takes. In WWE, it's not always like that. It's really like athletic theater put on display. I mean, you really got to roll with the punches. You got to go with it, act like nothing happened, and just hope that everyone laughs with you instead of at you.
Man, it was a funny line. I didn't blame Jey for breaking, but when you find out what it really meant, you can understand why he lost it. You really can. That was incredible. But so what's in the future for you, David? What more are we going to be seeing out of you with Real Appreciation and in the acting and voice acting world, or whatever else you're doing? Because you're everywhere, man.
Yeah. Well, Real Appreciation, we just dropped our season 5 debut episode with the great Megan Lawless from Obsession, which is in theaters now. We've got more episodes coming in the season. We're interviewing, we're doing stuff for Jackass, Toy Story 5. I mean, Scary Movie 6 coming out in June. I mean, we got a lot coming up on the show. It's going to be great. But more importantly, me and Maria, which shout out to her. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday to the love of my life. My co-host.
Happy birthday.
We just written and directed a feature film on a very, very minimum budget. And it's a screen life thriller. And we worked very hard to do this in a short amount of time. And we worked so damn hard. And I'm editing it now, and we feel like we have a great chance at this movie becoming the next Obsession. That's all we can say, but it's something we're very confident in, and I'm so proud of the entire talented cast and crew, and you guys are just going to love what we're working on.
Wow. Sweet. Wow. So you don't want to give us a hint?
I can't. Maria told me not to.
Oh, come on, David.
Someone steal that idea in a heartbeat.
It's all good, sir. All good. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on, and everybody check out Real Appreciation and see David's content. It's great stuff with him and Maria. And David, I'm very proud of you for what you've accomplished in your life, especially the last few years, coming back from where you were. It's amazing to see, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again, and we'll see where the future goes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys both for having me. This has been so cool.
We appreciate it, and we'll get you back on the show sometime, brother. Best of luck with the new film.
Thank you so much. Best of luck with the show. It's going to be awesome.
All right. There you go. David Clair-Bennett, everybody. And man, I'll tell you, that guy, I still remember when he was at his lowest, and he has fought back so hard, and just to see where he is, it's a message to everybody no matter what's going on in your life, you can pull it back, Coach, and very proud of him.
Amen to that.
Yep. All right.
I'm
All right, Coach is out of here. We are shifting gears in hour number 2 as we will be joined by one of the baddest men in wrestling history. Dan Spivey's going to be on the Mark Hoke Show. So stick around, everybody. And don't forget to follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. We're also on Instagram and TikTok at Mark Hoke Show as well. We will.
I will say this next week, live. Coach Keith Morrison will be live with me from Tennessee, Nashville at Double J's weekend.
Oh, that's scary. All right.
Tune in next week.
All right, Coach. We will see you in hour number 2 coming up on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Enjoy the steak and shrimp special at Jerry's Nugget for only $16.89. Savor the goodness as you slice into a juicy 8-ounce New York steak cooked to order. Then let a succulent, freshly prepared pan-fried shrimp melt in your mouth. So good. Jerry's Steak and Shrimp is served 7 days a week, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and comes with choice of super salad, choice of potato, and garlic bread. Now that's a classy deal for $16.89. Visit Jerry's Nugget Casino today, your kind of place.
Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
Now is the time to refinance your auto loan with One Nevada Credit Union and put more chips back in your stack. With no payments for 90 days, you could score a better rate, lower your monthly payment, and keep more of your hard-earned money right where it belongs, in your pocket. That's money you can use for bills, savings, or a little more fun. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all about putting you in a better financial position. One Nevada Credit Union. We're all in with our members. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender. In Nevada, the action never stops, and neither should your banking. Our mobile app is the ace up your sleeve, letting you manage your bankroll anywhere, anytime. Check balances, transfer funds, deposit checks, and pay bills with just a few taps. No lines, no waiting, just smart, simple banking that moves at your pace. Download the app today and take control of your financial game. One Nevada Credit Union. We're all in with our members. Federally insured by NCUA.
By July of 2025, nearly all Nevada employers will be required to offer a retirement plan to all employees. As a business, how do you even start? Just call the Vegas Chamber to get plugged into the Chamber's 401k plan. It's simple to administer, provides great options, and will quickly help your business meet Nevada's new retirement plan mandate. Visit vegaschamber.com to get plugged in.
Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sell your house fast? Whether you're facing foreclosure, stuck with bad tenants, or just ready for a fresh start, House Buyer Network can help. We buy homes as is for cash. No fees, no commissions, no repairs. Get a fair cash offer in just 24 hours and close in as little as 7 days. Call 833-719-5877 now for your free no-obligation offer. That's 833-719-5877. House Buyer Network. Fast cash, no hassle.
Offers are typically below market value in exchange for speed and convenience. Call for details.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. 4, 6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them. At Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in elastic.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Learning more about the gunman, I'm Roger Stern, Fox News. The gunman killed by Secret Service yesterday after opening fire in the White House was no stranger to the agency. Here's Fox's Madeline Rivera in Washington.
Federal law enforcement sources tell Fox News Digital the suspect was 21-year-old Nasir Best from Maryland. Best allegedly had encountered Secret Service at least twice last year and had a history of mental health issues. Court records state Best was charged in July with trying to enter a restricted area near the White House. Authorities say Best told them he was Jesus Christ and that he wanted to get arrested. Best was also reportedly detained by Secret Service the previous month for flagging down agents and making threats. The president saying on Truth Social, the gunman near the White House had a violent history and possible obsession with our country's most cherished structure.
President Trump says a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran have been largely negotiated following a call with leaders of several countries in the Middle East over the weekend, and he's winning praise from Republicans, including Indiana Congressman Marlon Stutzman.
President Trump's diplomacy and his ability to bring these countries together for common causes is why they're so effective right now. Iran is on an island by themselves in the Middle East, and so President Trump has a lot of leverage.
Stutzman on Fox and Friends Weekend, critics say Iran has the leverage, and it is not confirmed President Trump's claim that an agreement is largely negotiated. For much of the U.S., Memorial Day weekend does not feel like the start of summer. It's cold and rainy in the northeast and Great Lakes area. Better in the west with dry and warm weather expected. The holiday weekend has a history of fickle weather. Sometimes it can be warm and sunny. Other years, not. America is listening to Fox News.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist.
Hey everyone, it's Phil Sims.
Hey everyone, it's Danica McKellar. It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Jeremiah Brown.
Hey everyone, I'm Kix Brooks.
I'm John Taffer.
I'm Jennifer Eden.
Everybody's Kevin Nealon.
It's Mr. Wonderful here, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this morning at 10.
You're kidding.
And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And we are back for hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the worldwide Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go get that app now or my next guest might just clobber you, and you do not want that. Also live streaming on X, YouTube, and Facebook. And we're going to have a great time here. I am so excited to have this guy on the show. He has traversed so many eras of professional wrestling. It is unbelievable. And going back and reminding myself about his career, just it is a trip down memory lane, that's for sure. And of course, you can go to waylandmercy.com. You can get his book, The Dangerous Truth, autographed directly by him, t-shirts and stuff on there as well. He even does cameos. I'd love to see a cameo from this guy. Dan Spivey, also known as Wayland Mercy. How are you, sir? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show.
Oh, man, thanks for having me on today. Looking forward to this.
Oh, me too. Me too. We already in the first hour had a comment about you in the chat box, and it's kind of a fun place to start. One of our fans, Coach Keith Morrison, says, "Good morning, guys. I go back with Dan Spivey when he was American Starship Eagle," which I do too. I remember that brief run with you and Scott Hall.
That's a start. Me and Scott Hall, the American Starship. Boy, that's going way back.
It is, but that's when I started watching wrestling about 82. So yeah, I remember a lot of the work that you did. But that boy, they dropped the ball on that one. It wasn't the first time that or last time that happened to you, but boy, if you think about that, you and Scott Hall, if you guys would have been staying together as a tag team for a long time, well, it changes wrestling history.
That would be very interesting where that would have taken us. But we had a tough go at it. We started in Florida, and Dusty brought us in, and he got transferred to Charlotte, North Carolina. And so we followed him up there. They didn't have a ring. There was no place for us to train. So Harley Race came to town, and I talked to Harley in a bar, of course, and we told him our situation. He says, well, I have a territory out in Kansas City. He said, why don't you guys come out? So we talked to Dusty. He sent us on up there to work for Harley. And when we got there, we go to the building, and we're here to see Harley. They said, Harley's in Japan. And he said, the guy's name was Bob Geigel, a good guy.
Yeah, I remember Bob Geigel.
Says, I had no idea you guys are coming here, but we'll give you a shot. So me and Scott tagged up in Kansas City for a while. And the guys we worked against is very interesting too. Is Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels was the baby faces that we worked with. So that was some good experience, but I hated it. I did. And so I called Dusty, and I went back to Charlotte, and I just about started there again. And Ricky Steamboat had a gym there, and I trained at his gym, got to know him pretty well. And Ricky would go with me on Tuesdays, and that's the day they had their TV taping and stuff. And we would go down there early, and Ricky Steamboat was the first guy I ever drop kicked or suplex. And
wow,
he was a hell of a guy. He told me to get some pictures together, and he took them up to New York and showed them to got the booker at the time, George Scott. And that's how I got my start in the WWE.
Do you realize just in that thing that you said, you mentioned Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, Ricky Steamboat, and Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. I mean, and that's just the beginning. I mean, that and that's one thing that fascinates me about your career so much, because as we we'll keep going through this, man, you've been in the ring with some of the all-time greats, and well, a lot of them actually. It's fascinating where your road went.
Yeah, in a very short time. I got my start really working every day with good competitors, in New York. That's when the Golden Boy took over. My next name, Golden Boy Dan Spivey. So I did that for a while. And then Barry had quit. Barry Windham and Rotundo were tagged as the American Express. And me being similar built to Barry, 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. So they threw me in there to team up with Mike Rotundo, another guy that really helped me a lot because I was green, and nobody really knew anything about me because I didn't work in a lot of territories because that was being phased out. And I was just lucky, got some breaks, being friends with Steamboat, and him taking a chance on me that I would go up to New York and do well for myself.
How tough was that being put in the spot that Barry Windham had occupied and one with a tag team that had the reputation of the U.S. Express?
It was good for me because being teamed with Mike Rotundo, a real hell of a guy that really pushed my career. He took care of me, and I'll always be very appreciative of that. And it was great because I'd only been in the business probably about a good year and a half, and to have that spot, I was very fortunate.
Yeah, I remember that switch, and I was like, oh wow, this is going to be interesting. But being younger, I think I was like 13 at the time or 14, somewhere in there, and I was like, where'd Barry go? And then so he left. So I didn't understand the business very well as a kid, but because I just tuned in to watch everybody get beat up, which was great. But, but and speaking of beating people up, I am going to go to the days in Japan and the World Wrestling Council a little bit, and that's kind of where I think you got the reputation of being one of the best tough guys in wrestling, and I think that's something that's somewhat missing today. The guys like Stan Hansen, the guys like Bruiser Brody, Terry Gordy, all those guys, and you're even smiling when I say it. You're probably thinking about somebody bashing you over the head or something. But I appreciate what those guys did, and I don't think that people talk about that group of wrestlers enough today. Is that style gone, or there's some people out there you think are carrying it at all?
That really turned out to be. I wish I would have stayed in Japan the whole time of my wrestling career. There, like you said, there's some tough guys, Stan and Doc and Terry. We used to have some hell of matches over there. We beat the hell out of each other, As long as you didn't bust someone open or you didn't break an arm or a leg on it, it was good. We really worked hard making it look real, and it was basically real. 80% of it was just. That's why guys had a hard time going over there. They go over there one time and they wouldn't come back because it was too tough for them.
Well, shame on you, Dan. That's one way. It's one way to keep your spot.
Guys would come over. Usually, one of the first nights, some new guys would come over and they put us in a 6-man tag together with some of these guys, and they go in there and do these little cute high spots and stuff. And Stan would go in the ring and our partner and throw the guys out of the ring, beat shit out, and say, "We don't do that fancy stuff over here," and throw them back in.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about Stan Hansen, because he's a guy that is so interwoven in pro wrestling history, but yet people just don't seem to talk about him enough. He's a former AWA world champion. He's the guy that broke Bruno Sammartino's neck, and somehow he got lost in history. It's really strange, but man, I loved watching Stan.
I had a hard time because I worked back and forth sometimes in the States, going back to Japan. And when I come over here, I had to tone it down a lot because these guys start crying and I would hit them too hard or whatever. And, so I have to tone it down. But it was hard to do. It was. I liked Japan style a lot better. And it liked me a lot better, too, I think.
Would you like to see more of that style of wrestling in WWE and AEW? Because I feel like that's one thing that is missing, is that really nasty, tough heel that just comes in and destroys people all the time. I mean, I had said on the show last week, I thought Matt Cardona should just go and jump on Cody Rhodes, go back to being the Deathmatch King and destroy the guy and take that and run, and he'd be unique in the industry again. What do you think about the state of wrestling and that style?
I hate it because you have to be a gymnast almost to do it now. I mean, I would have a tough time because I never climbed the ropes and jumped off people from the third top, from the top of the ring. And these guys do these flips and everything, and which is awesome. It's fun to watch, but they throw them back in and, didn't really do any damage. It doesn't make any sense. You kill a guy, you run over him, you shoot him, you stab him a few times, and then you meet him with a small package. I don't get it.
Understood. Yeah, I miss it too. That's for sure. Come back, you go to WCW, and you get teamed with Sid Vicious. The Skyscrapers begin. And how excited were you about that tag team? Because that must have been fun being able to work with Sid. At least I would think it would be.
It was fun at first, but they never did anything with us. I mean, me and Sid were two imposing guys, and we'd go in there and beat the hell out of people, but we never shot an angle with the Steiners. We never shot an angle with the Road Warriors, really. They were doing nothing with us. And then Sid gets hurt, punctures a lung. How he did that, I never know, because he was just coming through the ropes and he just falls down. He can't breathe. He broke a rib getting inside the ring. and no one touched him. But anyway, then Mark comes in, another guy kind of green, and put him with us, and we did nothing. We shot no angles. You know, we never beat the Road Warriors, never beat the Steiner. They never put us over. And that's why I left and went back to Japan and left Mark on his own. And that turned out pretty good for him because 3 months later, he becomes the Undertaker, which is probably the best gimmick ever in the history of wrestling. And plus, the guy can work. Very good worker.
Yeah, Mark Calloway was okay. I mean, you know, I've seen better. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but that kind of goes back to the point I made earlier that as you hear about your career, it just keeps streaming through with all these incredible talents. I mean, you know, there you are. You show up and it's Sig Vicious and Mark Calloway. I mean, but why do you think that they didn't put you guys over? Because I remember as a wrestling fan saying, "Oh my God, this is a tag team right here that's going to be almost impossible to beat." And then I'm thinking, wow, you got the Steiners, you got the Road Warriors, and some other guys. These matches are going to be sensational. But why do you think that they never gave you guys the belts?
I have no idea. You know, so much of this stuff. That's another thing why I like Japan. There was no kind of political bullshit. You go in the ring, you beat the shit out of each other, and you do good, you get a good push. Here, you know, in the States, that doesn't happen for some reason or another. And I don't know why. You know, but every guy that I tagged with ended up in the Hall of Fame. You know, Scott Hall, Taker. I don't know. Yeah, he just got now. He got put in there this past year. You know, everybody seems like Rotunda. I guess he's in the Hall of Fame too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, with Barry. Yeah. It's a fascinating career to say the least. Dan, let me take a break and we'll come back and keep this rolling. But we're on with Dan Spivey, also known as Waylon Mercy. And don't forget, you can go to waylonmercy.com. Got that book, The Dangerous Truth. You can get it autographed, T-shirts, cameos, all sorts of stuff. And we'll give the email out if you want to have Dan make an appearance with you as well. So let's take that break here on the Mark Hoke Show. And we're going to be back with more The Dangerous One. And he's still dangerous. Trust me, you don't want to make this man mad. Dan Spivey on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around, everybody. We will be right back.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Right.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in California and Hawaii.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring unlimited text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old day of these reunions. Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible?
Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Eugenix Total T2.
The testosterone booster?
Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results.
I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week.
Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text back to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's BACK to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
To receive your complimentary bottle, you just pay shipping and handling. Ordering your complimentary bottle enrolls you in paid subscription unless you cancel before the end of the trial period.
My neighbor used to keep his house nice and tidy. He dressed sharp, too. Now, I don't know, things have been off. The lawn's overgrown. Trash just sits there. He doesn't even comb his hair anymore. Could it be his new friend that's been coming around? He says he's fine, but I'm worried. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Something just doesn't feel right. I can't keep pretending everything's okay.
He loves what you're saying.
Hi, I'd like to file a report.
Marcus
Trust your instincts.
Which is
Make
awesome.
the tough call.
Because they
Report
knew
neglect to Adult Protective Services anonymously. Call 888-729-0571 or visit nevada211.org/APS. This message is sponsored by Adult Protective Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. Roll on here in hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling, right here in Las Vegas. And we have I still think one of the most influential wrestlers in the industry's history, Dan Spivey, also known as Waylon Mercy. And we're going to talk about that in a sec. But Dan, I got to ask you about your time in the UWF with Herb Abrams. Is every time I have somebody on that had worked in that promotion, there's always an interesting story. What a shock. What was it like being a part of the UWF?
Well, I didn't have a real problem with it too much. I mean, he made me champion, gave me the belt there, which he cared about that belt an awful lot because, you know, he stiffed everybody else for money, but I had his belt, and he really loved that belt because he paid me every time a payment was due because I told him I wouldn't give his belt back. And so anyway, he died, and I still had the belt, but I got paid, so I don't really have too much to say other than he was just a goof. He was way out there, brother.
Yeah, there are some fascinating stories out there. I know they did a Dark Side of the Ring on that. If you don't know about the UWF, you need to check that out. Well, you came back to the WWF and came up with the Waylon Mercy character, which actually turned out, while it wasn't a big run in WWF at the time, it turned out to be one of the most important characters in pro wrestling history. Tell us a little bit about the Waylon Mercy character, where you came up with it, and what happened.
Well, Vince and Jerry Briscoe got with me. They wanted me to come in. We sat down and we had a talk, and I was really happy that we all came up with this idea, copying Cape Fear, Robert De Niro in that story, come along those lines with Southern slang, talking real nice, but being a real vicious guy. And I was really excited about it because, this is the first time I got to be someone else other than Dan Spivey. And I was loving it, and me being from the South, I knew people kind of like the crazy Waylon Mercy, and so I had a lot of fun with it. And I was really looking forward to doing it. I really was. And times were tough in the WWF back then. They were getting beat in the WCW ratings and stuff. And, I was getting, my body was just worn out. It really was. And I just couldn't go like I wanted to. And so I had to retire. It's just, it wasn't worth it at the time as far as, also I knew I had a problem with pain pills. And that was something becoming a problem, which got worse after wrestling. And so, but Waylon Mercy, that's unfinished business for me. And I've been having fun out promoting my book, The Dangerous Truth. And Waylon Mercy comes out every once in a while. I'm just having fun. I really am. The crowd, the people love it. I can't believe that the short time that I had doing that is awesome, because it really had an impact on the fans. They like it, and they said Waylon Mercy was a scary person. Well, that's what I was trying to be, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm having a lot of fun now promoting it. When we go to these wrestling conventions, I wear the Waylon Mercy shirt, which everybody knows it, and just having a good time. So promoting the book is a big thing for me now, and it's I'm having fun. That's the main thing, having fun.
Well, and real quick on Waylon Mercy, the connection with Mike Rotunda, it was the inspiration for his son to do Bray Wyatt. And and they even had Mercy the Buzzard in there too in honor of you, my friend. But they beat the hell out of that buzzard, though.
I know. What's up with that? He was training at their training facility, him and his brother, and he came up to me. He said, "Dan, is it all right if I do a character off of Waylon Mercy?" I said, "No, man. I'll help you. Whatever you need." And he did a great job with it. He changed it around, but everybody knew he was tied in with Waylon Mercy. So it was fun watching him. He did a great job.
Yeah, it was, and we miss him terribly. That's for sure. So let's go to the book, "The Dangerous Truth: A Life of Chaos, Consequences, and Sobriety" by Dan Spivey. So you retire, and like you said, you were having some addiction issues, and not sure what to do, and take us through that time period in your life.
Oh, what a terrible time that was. I just, there's things that happened to me earlier in my life where I was disappointed and pissed off. I played football at the University of Georgia, and I went to Georgia, not for schooling. I went to Georgia to play football and become a pro football player. I was pretty good. I mean, I got recruited by over 200 colleges, and then the bad thing happened. The first time I ever been hurt, I got hurt my junior sophomore year, and it was a knee injury, and I wanted to have it fixed right away. And the coach says, "No, you're good." And I wasn't good, but they made me get out there and play short yardage defense, goal line, so I didn't have to run far, just close the hole down. And so that went on. Then we got accepted to play in the Peach Bowl that year, and I told the coach that I couldn't play. And so 4 months later, they operated on my knee, and so it was about 6 months I went not being able to fully use my knee. And that's the old-fashioned way. They slit you wide open, and it was just pretty barbaric compared to what they have now. So I was still drafted by the Jets, and I went to the Jets, and there's a famous doctor there because he took care of Joe Namath, and he looked at my knee, and he says, "Damn, how long do they wait before they operate on it?" And I told him, he said, "You should have been operated on within 48 hours. And I didn't even pass the physical because my knee was so bad. And when he told me that, I was just getting pissed off at the world. And I was so disappointed to hear that. And it caused me to start doing things that weren't too good for me, being tied up with people, professional gamblers, prostitution, and drugs, collecting drug money, and it was a pretty crazy, chaotic time. And basically, wrestling kind of saved my life because I started taking care of myself. I started working out again, and I felt like an athlete again. And so this was something that I enjoyed doing, and I could do very well. And most guys are thinking about retirement at the time I broke in, I was 34 years old when I broke into the business. And, which was good for 10, 12 years. And then when the painkillers kicked in, I just went back to my old ways before I got into wrestling. And pretty scary times, so it was tough. I ended up in drug rehab a few times. And the last time that I was in drug rehab, I was hospitalized, and I was in the hospital. I OD'd, and I escaped from ICU twice.
Wow.
6'6" guy with long, straggly blonde hair, a beard, and running around in a hospital gown out in the parking lot looking for cigarettes. And actually, the second time I did it, they strapped me in a bed, and I wake up, I'm strapped, into a hospital bed, and there's these guys standing around me with hands on me, they're praying and stuff. It was a buddy of mine, a fellow wrestler, Gary Ports, and his reverend and stuff, they were praying over. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or what, but my brother was there, and he was in contact with the WWE, and they had a program there and still do. If you ever signed a contract with them, they would send you to drug rehab if you had an alcohol or drug problem. So this was my fourth time, and luckily they sent me to the miniature clinic in Houston, Texas. And that's when my life changed, and I started taking some suggestions and doing the things that I needed to do to become sober again. And that's where that started in 2009. And it's been a great ride since then. I was able to change my life, and that's what the book's about. The book is about, if anybody can get sober, Dan Spivey got sober, then anybody can get sober. And hopefully this book will help somebody the way that's helped me. The things that I did to get over not over, but to put my addiction in check.
And you then carried that out and have been helping other people so much that you got recognized by the Trigos Hall of Fame for your work that you've done. Tell us a little bit about what you've done to help other people that have been in the position that you were in.
Well, I talk to them, of course, and tell them the things that, my life, what things I went through, and I overcame. I just laid out to them, this is what I did. Hopefully, some of the things that I've done will help you, with your addiction and recovery. I mean, I was 56 years old when I got sober. And since then, everything in my life has been, just really good. And it's the happiest time I've ever been in the last 17 years. That's how long I've been sober. And it just gets better and better and better and better, and just when you think it can't get any better, it does. And it's been a fun ride for me.
Well, that's fantastic to hear, because, there are a lot of people that are wrestling fans that, followed your career and, really enjoyed watching you perform. So we're thrilled to hear that, not just that you're happy. I mean, it's terrific.
Yeah, I'm on my sixth marriage, and my wife is the one that helped me get sober. And so I have my own sponsor here 24/7. And so, it's just, she's beat all the other five by years. So we've been together now for 10 years, and it's been great.
Man, 6 marriages. That's a lot.
Punishment. Yeah, it's like a terrible romantic or something. I don't know.
Well, it's good to see you're doing well. I wanted to ask you a couple of things real quick about what's going on in pro wrestling before I let you go. WWE's bringing back the house shows, and the repetitions that you guys got doing house shows, I think it really shows that, how crisp you can get from those house shows that maybe they're not getting today in the modern era pro wrestling until maybe now. How important were those house shows to you guys?
What's that again?
How important were the house shows to you guys in terms of building, getting better and improving and health too?
Well, house shows, it's what you make your whole business out of. I mean, the house shows are important because you only get paid for the work that you do. And if you didn't do house shows, you didn't get paid back in my time. That's why you worked hurt. And that's why a lot of guys were on pain pills. So, you had to work. I mean, these guys get paid now, I understand, by staying home with contracts and stuff. And we only got paid on the house. So the house was very important to us.
No, it's fascinating. Yeah, it's definitely a different ball game now. So, and did you happen to catch the situation happen with Sid's induction to the Hall of Fame? Were you surprised? I mean, I know the family was not happy with how that turned out, but what did you think about all that situation?
About Sid?
Yeah.
That was, I don't know. I really didn't hear what happened. I wasn't involved with that. I didn't see it. And but I heard from his son. His son was very unhappy. I guess they could have done more. They really didn't do anything by what I heard. I didn't hear or what I didn't hear. I just know the son was very, very upset about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Dan, we got the book, The Dangerous Truth, A Life of Chaos, Consequences, and Sobriety. That is available on whalenmercy.com. They got t-shirts, got all sorts of other stuff on there too. But you also do cameos. And I'm just curious, how scary are those cameos?
Cameo's been great. I've been having fun with it. They want to hear Waylon Mercy, so Waylon will talk to them, and he gave his advice out, and what they didn't follow it. What Waylon was going to do was going to put him in the sleeper hole. And I've had a good time doing it.
Well, we had a great time watching you in the ring, and I think we're all very happy to hear that you're doing well. And looking forward to. I know you've been out on the autograph circuit, and I'm sure we'll continue to see you out there. But guys, got to get this book. It is going to be. It's a fascinating read. Once again, The Dangerous Truth: A Life of Chaos, Consequences, and Sobriety by Dan Spivey, and can also do appearances if you want to get Dan over at your place. Maybe he'll beat somebody up for you. He might if you pay him enough. It's Dan Spivey at 1168media.com, and we can maybe have Waylon Mercy show up at your place. Dan, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the Mark Hoke Show. Like I said, long time admirer years in the ring, and this was truly an honor to have you on. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Lives are going to play in Waylon Mercy's hands. You know what I mean?
There you go, brother. All right. Hey, Dan, we'll talk to you down the road. Thank you, and best of luck, and hope you stay happy, my friend.
Oh, man, that's great. Thank you very much for having us on. Appreciate it. Yeah, and Waylon too, Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, we're going to see you at the Hall of Fame?
What's that?
Do we see you at the Hall of Fame in Iowa?
I hope so. Who knows? I don't know, but that would be nice.
Fair enough. All right, there you go, everybody. Dan Spivey, also Waylon Mercy, depending on his mood. Thank you very much, sir. We'll speak again soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, you got it. There you go. Dan Spivey, everybody. Wow. What a story. And what's so fascinating about him is just the way his career interwove with so many of the all-time greats. It's incredible. And very happy to have him on the show, and want to thank him and his team at 1168 Media for getting him on. Really do appreciate it. All right, let's get to our final break, and we'll talk a little bit about Double or Nothing, and maybe that Saturday night's main event from last night, whatever else we can jam in before the show wraps up. So stick around, everybody. Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price of participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in California and Hawaii.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
May is Wildfire Awareness Month, and every Nevadan has a role to play. Wildfire doesn't wait. It moves fast, driven by wind, heat, and dry conditions in the Nevada high desert. It only takes one spark to put lives, homes, and communities at risk in minutes. Become wildfire ready with 3 simple actions. First, make a plan. Know your evacuation routes. Pack a disaster supply bag. Sign up for local emergency alerts. Second, prepare your home. Clear dead vegetation. Clean your roof and gutters. Move anything flammable away from your home. Creating defensible space can save your property and your life. Third, know before you go. On red flag warning days, avoid activities that can spark a fire, like a backyard fire pit or target shooting. For more information, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station. 1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do this one more time. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, not just in Las Vegas, but around the world. But hey, we're in Sin City. Gotta love that. Well, becoming a mecca of pro wrestling, if you will. By the way, the actual mecca of pro wrestling, Madison Square Garden, still refusing to have AEW play there because WWE doesn't want them in their playground. Would they sell out? I don't know. After this 14,000 person sellout, if Double or Nothing would have been in Madison Square Garden, somehow I had a hunch they might have done it. You know Tony's not going to let this slide anymore. He's not. At some point, MSG is going to let him in there. And I know a lot of those guys that have never had a chance to play MSG are dying for that chance. MSG, come on, man. Look, it's a competitive world. WWE's just going to have to deal with it. But we'll see. By the way, you know, speaking of those competitive guys from AEW, Kenny Omega got a nasty shout out on X from Xavier Woods. If you didn't see it, he and Kofi were out at GalaxyCon signing autographs. Just happened to bump into a poor guy with a Kenny Omega shirt. And, well, he started screaming at him and said, "Kenny, I see you. It's on site." And so Xavier Woods, not only ready to challenge him in video games, but it's done, guys. It's done. All that has to happen is that 90 days is up. those two guys are signing on the dotted line. And the New Day, whatever name they're under, Kofi and Xavier will be in AEW. Mark my words. Out of AEW, at least for the moment, is Will Nightingale, by the way. She had to get pulled from today's Double or Nothing show. Undisclosed injury, but also had to forfeit the TBS title. So Will Nightingale is gone. Wow. And we'll find out what's going on with that. Saturday night's main event last night. A lot of people felt it was a pretty good show. A little bit of a mixed bag of reviews out there. But Jade Cargill, Meechin, and B-Fab knock off Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss as Cargill gets a pinfall on Ripley after, I don't know what the heck those three were doing celebrating in the ring. Match wasn't over. Jade says, oh, it's going to be over shortly. So they get a win. And Meechin looked great, by the way. Really did. Nice job last night. Sol Ruca beats Becky Lynch by a DQ. And that match, 2.5 minutes. Becky pulls Jessica Carr into Sol's finisher, which still was kind of, that is a tough move. And look, I know she's an incredible athlete, but I hate to say it, they may have to take a look at changing that up. But a quick one there. Penta and Ethan Page have a great match for the Intercontinental title last night. So congratulations to both. And people are really starting to look at Ethan Page the way they're supposed to look at Ethan Page. Incredibly talented in the ring, charismatic. You know, I was a little worried he might get lost in the shuffle, but I have a feeling he's going to be all right. So, nice Intercontinental title match. Paige and Brie Bell against the Irresistible Forces. Yeah, Paige and Brie won. We also had a pretty good match with the Vision as Paul Heyman manages to help out and gets them the win over the Street Profits. But I don't know. I think a lot of people wouldn't have minded seeing the title change there. But you know what? You don't have to win the first one. You only got to win the last one, right? I have a feeling we're going to see more from Logan Paul, Austin Theory against our friends Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And just those clashes could be great. Let's have a real tag team feud. Please, for the love of God. By the way, in the chat box, Javon Campbell E357 says, I'd like the return of the face New Day in AEW, possibly joining up with the Rascals of the What? The conglomeration's too big. And I don't know. I don't know if those guys, I mean, could they fit in with the Rascals? Yeah, I suppose. But who knows? Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun seeing those two in AEW. I cannot wait. Now, if you missed the news about Danhausen, and we mentioned this in the first hour, Danhausen on ESPN cursed the Cleveland Cavaliers. Somebody out there in this building managed to hop on and tried to reverse the curse and miserably failed. Danhausen went to that first game. Cleveland was up 22 points with 7 minutes to go. The Knicks stormed back on a 44-11 run to tie the game and then ended up winning it in overtime. And now the Knicks are up 3-0. Am I taking and somebody, we had Horrible Hoke is taking Danhausen seriously now comment. In a way, yes. Do I think this could still burn out eventually? Maybe. But this was huge. And it was totally out of Danhausen's control and WWE's control. Yeah, he curses him. Yeah, curse him. You are cursed. But it happened in real life, not the pro wrestling stuff. I mean, that's one of the worst losses of a lead in a playoff game ever. And Danhausen's just at rings or courtside. And everybody is about ready to build a statue to the man. Dude, does WWE take the chance and keep rolling this and curse whoever wins out of the Spurs and the Thunder? Do they do it? I don't know, man. publicity-wise, great, but what if it doesn't work? This is one of those things, maybe you go out while you're ahead. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. But it's fascinating because all of a sudden, a whole city, and it's not just, it's not Schenectady, it's New York City, is in love with Danhausen. He is their hero. What are you going to do, man? But it's absolutely entertaining to see the world of pro wrestling somehow make that crossover. Congratulations to you, Danhausen. But somehow I think the unknown KDAWN cursor may not give up. There's still another round. Double or Nothing coming up tonight. Should be a terrific show. Once again, we've got Divine Dominion against Zeta Steel and Viva Van. 5-minute tag team eliminator match. I think Divine Dominion is going to get that. I mean, I love Viva. She's terrific, but not happening. Guess who else is on the pre-show? Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall. There they are. 10-man tag match teaming with the conglomeration. Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong. Big Justice will be at ringside too. But everybody loves Big Boom AJ. It's interesting. They're going to be taking on Shane Taylor Promotions. So expect another big boom coming up tonight. Death Riders. It is Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta taking on the Ops. A new member of the Ops, Anthony Bowens, will be teaming with Hoke and Shibata in a trios match. Oh, Okada and Takeshita, we're finally going to get it. It is for the AEW International Championship. Oh, baby. Get ready for a war in that one. FTR, I Quit match for the AEW Tag Team Championships against Cage and Cope. Expect an outstanding match there, too. The Stadium Stampede match, and I wasn't that big on these, but now I've seen a couple of them live. Yeah, this is going to be a blast. You guys in New York, you are in for a treat. Jericho, Hurt Syndicate, Elite against the Demand, and Mark Davis and Andrade from the Don Callis family and the Dogs are going to be tearing the place apart. I wonder how many tennis rackets are going to get destroyed. Let's find out. Put a pool on that. Women's World Championship match 4-way. Tekla, Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander. That's going to be a hard-hitting match. I expect Tekla's going to get out of there, though. Samoa Joe, Will Ospreay in an Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal. Imagine Ospreay will advance there. Bandito and Swerve, another quarterfinal match on the men's side. I would be picking Swerve there. Athena, Mina Shirakawa in the women's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal match. I like Athena. I think maybe it's about time. I know she wants to break Bruno's record, but wouldn't you rather see her win the world championship? Just saying. Mox and Kyle O'Reilly for the Continental Championship. No time limit on that one. And the main event, Darby Allin MJF for the AEW World Championship. So brace yourselves, everybody. This is going to be a good one. And then, boy, Clash in Italy coming up. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Are we in for a wild night? That one. WWE has put that card together, and they are not messing around. As we had the return of Brock Lesnar, who beat the living hell out of Obafemi, didn't care if he ripped his pants or not. So we get Cody and Gunther for the Undisputed Championship, and Sami Zayn walked out on Cody on SmackDown on Friday, if you didn't see that. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu are in Tribal Combat. Great job by Jacob this week calling that out. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. Becky Lynch will be defending the Intercontinental title against Sol Roca. Think a title change there? I don't know. Be pretty fast. And I think Sol needs to get a little more work in, but we'll find out. But that's for you could be happy with that. I mean, I think there should be a fifth match on the card. But if you walked into the building and said, this is your card, I think most people would be like, okay, we'll pay the ticket. And once again, let's see. WWE is bringing those house shows back. They finally admitted, hey, our people need reps. Yes, you're as a former coach, I can't imagine having game time and, and then doing practice in another way. The best thing you can do to teach yourself is to be a part of it and in the same conditions. So get them out there more. EW2, great public relations as well. All right, that's going to wrap it up. I want to thank David Clair-Bennett for coming on, and I hope you give him a follow. David Clair B on X, and Dan Spivey as well. He's a real Dan Spivey on X. Truly appreciate it. What a great guy. Had a lot of fun talking to him. And we will be back next week, and hope everybody has a terrific Memorial Day weekend. Dodgers are coming up next here on KDAWN, so make sure you stick around for that. And a whole lot more. Man, I'll tell you, fun show today. Guys, we'll see you next week. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, The Mark Hoke Show. We'll see you next week, Las Vegas. And thanks for tuning in. Should be a fun one. We'll catch you next week.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
My neighbor used to keep